Hello, this is Stephanie Fiedler. Today we are going to be learning about the basics of Edmodo. The first thing you want to do is go to the wcpss.edmodo.com site and you want to click on I'm a Teacher. You will have to put in your Edmodo school code. You can get that from your media specialist, and then fill in your pertinent contact information, create a password, agree to the terms of service, and then click sign up. There are really two ways that you can make the most out of Edmodo, and one is as a teacher, sending things out to groups that you create for your classes. The other way is also as a community member. Today we're just going to be focusing on what you do as a teacher. And the first thing you're going to want to do is create a group. So once you're logged in and you're at your home page, you can go on the left-hand side and see groups and click on the plus icon. When you see create, click on that and you can get started. You can name your classroom, select a grade or a range, and then the subject area. I'm going to create a dummy group and call it Mrs. Fiedler's Media Minions. And there's a range. And we will call this computer technology. Page 2 asks you about how large the group is going to be. My group's going to be about 30 kids, and you can put in a brief description. Okay, and now finish. You will immediately be given a group code that you can then share with your students in a couple of ways. You can simply print out and disseminate this code here, or if you click join URL, you could copy and paste and send that perhaps through an email to your students. One thing that I wanted to point out is that notice this lock icon next to your group code. After 14 days, it automatically locks and you have to regenerate a new group code. Or what you could do for safety's sake is once you realize that all of your students have joined your group, you can always lock that on your own. You don't have to wait 14 days to do that. Once you've created the group and you have generated a group code and you've shared that with your students can then sign up for their own Edmodo accounts if they haven't already done so. And the way they do that is go to edmodo.com, and instead of clicking I'm a teacher, as you just did, this time they will put in I'm a student. They complete their contact information, although they're not asked for an email address. The only thing they are asked for is that code that you've generated and you've given to them, and that will give them access to Edmodo. If your students have already created Edmodo accounts in other classes or even in other schools, that's fine. They don't need to create a new account, they just need to add your group. Okay, you have created a group, you've invited people to join that group, and now you're ready to use it. So let's talk about posting messages to a group. When you are you've selected the group that you want to post in, make sure it's the correct group. You see this post bubble, they call it, and you have several choices. Right now we're going to do a note. So as soon as you click on the text box, you'll notice that it has a couple of things. First of all, it assumes you want to send a note to the entire group, and then we have other options down here that I'll talk about in a moment. But right now we're just going to send a welcome note. And we can now attach things if we'd like. So if you would like to attach a parent permission slip or a registration form or something, you would go to this file icon, and then you could choose something from your documents. If you would like to share a link with kids, you click on the link icon, and then you simply copy and paste whatever link you would like to attach. This icon here is called the library, and that's a really nice feature in Edmodo. What it is it's all of the archived files and links that you've sent out over the past. And we'll talk in a moment about archiving classes. But basically, when you've sent something, maybe a rubric that you really liked in one class, if you want to use it later, even years later, if you have archived that class, it will be available and visible under this icon for your library. And then last but not least, this here, schedule message. So what you can do is you can post a homework assignment at 7:30 in the morning if you'd like, but then schedule it so that it doesn't push out to your group until, say, the end of the school day, 3 o'clock. You can decide when your message is sent out to the group. Now, one note, if you don't want to send it to the entire group, you can click this X and you can just choose one person or the list of recipients that you would like to get that message. When you're ready to post, simply click send. I talked a moment ago about archiving a class, and I highly recommend that. When you're done with the school year, or for whatever reason you're done with that class, what you do is when you're in the class page, as we are now, click on the gear icon and you'll see group settings. So down here at the bottom, there's a choice, archive group, and you can click on that and choose to archive your class. The great thing about archiving classes is that everything that you sent out to them, files, PowerPoint presentations, interactive documents, web pages, all of that is archived, and you can access that in the future, years in the future if you want. Also, if you have excellent examples of student work that you would like to share with future classes, it's all saved there in your archive. Another option you have when you're done with the group, the semester's over, the class is over, you can always delete the group. And it's the same procedure. You go to the gear icon, you choose group settings, but this time you would select delete group. Now, I would highly suggest you think long and hard about this, because as soon as you delete that group, everything, all of the information you shared as a group is gone. So I would recommend archiving the group versus deleting it, but it's your choice. Okay, let's talk about joining a group. If you're a student in a group or a member, a community member of a PLN, you want to join a group that's been created. So the way you do that is you go to the home page, go to that groups plus icon, and this time we're going to select join. And at this window, you would type in the 6-digit code that you've been given by the group creator, and you are asking to be added to that group. Once you've submitted that request, you should see a success window appear, and then that group will immediately appear on the left-hand side under your groups heading. Let's talk about one last thing, and that's updating your account settings. So under the Me drop-down arrow, click on that and choose Settings. And this is where we can teach and show the Edmodo group who we are and give them some of our contact information. So Edmodo highly recommends that you upload a photo or an avatar if you're uncomfortable with photos. And that's a way for people, especially if you're in a PLN and you're connecting with people you may never meet in person. It just sort of puts a face with the name and you get to know them. And it really works. You get to know people. It's somewhat like Facebook. If you've ever met somebody through Facebook, you get to know them that way. All right, you can add your contact information, email, the schools that you work at, and then it will automatically generate your Edmodo URL. Another thing under the Me drop-down arrow, you can always take a look at your profile, and there are some things you can learn about yourself. You can see how many badges you've earned. You can earn more badges, learn how to earn more badges, see the connections you've made, and invite other teachers if you would like to make more connections. So that's it. That is Edmodo I. I will be teaching a follow-up class in February, but if you have any questions between now and then, don't hesitate to email me. Thanks.